Roman Reigns is very unhappy with the WWE, Brock Lesnar's return confirmed, major WWE names referenced in Epstein Files, a Hall of Famer threatens the WWE over Donald Trump, Seth Rollins officially confirms Bad Bunny is now a WWE superstar, The Undertaker attacks the WWE, The Rock will never return, and much, much more. Let's start with Brock Lesnar's return confirmed. Recently, WWE advertised the multi-time world champion's upcoming appearance on Monday Night Raw. Brock Lesnar is scheduled to appear on WWE Raw in Atlanta, Georgia, on 23 February 2026. The Beast Incarnate's appearance takes place a week before Elimination Chamber in Chicago. The company might have plans to add Lesnar to the men's Elimination Chamber match, which is why he's advertised for the Go Home show in Atlanta. It'll be interesting to see what's next for the Beast Incarnate in the Stamford-based promotion heading into WrestleMania 42 in Nevada. Speaking of Lesnar and his return, it's about time Paul Heyman goes back to his old client. Let me explain. A few months back, the new big dog betrayed the Visionary, and Heyman decided to go with Breakker and Reed. Now, Austin Theory and Logan Paul are also part of the villainous group alongside Lesnar. Amid this, there are signs that imply Paul Heyman will turn on the Vision and get back with his former WWE client, Seth Rollins. Number 1. The Vision's recent downfall. After Seth Rollins was kicked out of the Vision faction, the group experienced an unreal downfall. The WWE Universe surely praises Braun Breaker and the other individuals involved in the alliance, but they totally failed as a faction. This recent downfall subtly hints that the Oracle may soon switch sides and get back with Seth Rollins. In the past, we saw that Heyman betrayed Roman Reigns after he lost his undisputed WWE Universal Championship. So it wouldn't be a surprise if he betrays Braun Breaker and the other members after this downfall. Number 2. Braun Breaker is gone. Unfortunately, Braun Breaker suffered a real-life injury and will undergo surgery for a serious hernia. Reports disclose that the former WWE NXT champion is expected to be out for 12 weeks, up to 6 months. This means that Breaker could also miss WrestleMania 42. Since Rollins was taken out, Braun was the primary face of the Vision and was portrayed as the main player. With the new big dog no longer in the picture, Paul Heyman might revert to Seth Rollins, as the Vision's key player is currently on hiatus. Number 3. Paul Heyman was forced to join the group. When Paul Heyman betrayed Roman Reigns and CM Punk at WrestleMania, he joined forces with Seth Rollins. The Architect was the one whom Heyman wanted to accompany after he backstabbed his previous clients. Later, Rollins formed the group, and eventually Heyman emerged as the Oracle of the faction. This shows that the Visionary was Paul's first choice from the start, and he was seemingly forced to join the group. So this appears to be another sign of him going back to Seth Rollins after all the recent developments in WWE. Number 4. Paul Heyman is already ditching the Vision by accompanying Brock Lesnar to his matches. Though Paul Heyman is part of the Vision, he accompanied Brock Lesnar to his matches many times. These actions show that he's already ditching them, and he could be on the verge of betraying them fully. Even the Oracle accompanied the Beast Incarnate in the Men's Royal Rumble despite Braun Breaker being mysteriously attacked at the beginning. All these signs are enough to suggest that Paul will turn on the Vision and might get back with his former client. Major WWE names have been referenced in Epstein Files. Recently, many files related to the deceased child trafficker Jeffrey Epstein were released, and it brought new revelations to light. The list includes mention of U.S. President Donald Trump and other notable figures. Now, it has surfaced that names of WWE legends were also referenced during a conversation. The latest files reveal an email from Dr. Harry Fish, a urologist, to Epstein in February 2019. In the email, he brings up the deaths of WWE legends Pedro Morales and Bruno Sammartino. First Bruno, now Pedro. From the New York Times. Pedro Morales, 76, first to win 3 major wrestling titles, dies. A hard-punching star of the 1970s and 80s, he was known as much for equals his kindness outside the ring as for his ferocity within it. The email reads, Sammartino was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2013, and he passed away in April 2018. Pedro Morales, Puerto Rican wrestling legend, was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1995, and he passed away in February 2019. The files also reveal a text message exchange between Fish and Epstein talking about legendary manager Mr. Fuji and Pedro Morales' deaths. A Hall of Famer threatens the WWE over Donald Trump. The U.S. president was inducted as part of the class of 2013 by former company CEO Vince McMahon. Since being elected to the White House for a second time, WWE has grown its association with Trump. While many current talents have come out in support of the 79-year-old, some veterans have spoken out against him and the promotion. WWE legend Jesse Ventura has been one of the vocal critics of Trump, and hasn't held back in his assessment of his policies. Ventura, who has been the governor of Minnesota, spoke out against the Trump administration's policies, especially the crackdown against immigrants in the state. Recently, in an interview with Independent Americans, Ventura brought up Trump's association with WWE and said he shouldn't be in their Hall of Fame. He's in the Wrestling Hall of Fame. I'm angry, very angry. And here's why. I have friends that are not in the Hall of Fame. One in particular, Olympian Ken Patera, one time considered possibly the strongest man in the world, competed in the Olympics, had a tremendous pro wrestling career afterward. Well, guess what? He's not in the Hall of Fame, and Trump is, he said. Ventura then talked about what it takes to be in the Hall of Fame. He highlighted that he wrestled 63 consecutive nights in a row without a day off and said, "This is what it takes to get in." He then expressed his surprise that Vince McMahon chose to induct Donald Trump just because he provided the venue for 2 WrestleMania events. Well, you know why he got in? Because he provided us 2 buildings? I think WrestleMania 5 and 6 or something, where he probably made millions, off renting us his buildings to hold WrestleMania, and for that Vince McMahon puts him in the Hall of Fame? It's a disgrace. I've almost resigned, gone publicly, and said, "I'm resigning from the Hall of Fame because Trump is in it, and he doesn't qualify," he added. Mick Foley is another wrestling legend who has called out Donald Trump for some of his policies. Despite being signed with WWE, Seth Rollins officially confirms Bad Bunny is now a WWE Superstar. Despite being away from the company, it seems that Seth still has his finger on the pulse when it comes to WWE's activity, and recently finally answered the question of whether or not Bad Bunny is a WWE Superstar. While appearing on GMFB, Rollins opened up about Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show and referred to him as a fellow WWE Superstar. Bad Bunny has wrestled several matches for WWE in the past, including a Royal Rumble match and a street fight in Puerto Rico, which was his last wrestling match in 2023. There have been questions about what kind of a contract he signed with the company for the appearances he made, but Seth Rollins has now confirmed it. I want to give a shout out to Bad Bunny because it was just awesome. My colleague, Benito, fellow WWE Superstar, he said. Why AJ Lee must win the women's IC title. Becky Lynch will finally have her one-on-one match against AJ Lee at the Elimination Chamber Premium Live event for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. The bout was made official on the latest episode of Monday Night Raw, after both women delivered a solid promo at the beginning of the show. AJ was the one who cost the man the women's IC title late last year. However, Lynch was able to regain the gold from Maxine Dupree on the Red Show's first anniversary on Netflix. That said, let's look at reasons why Lee must dethrone Lynch at the upcoming Premium Live event. The WWE Universe was expecting to see AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 42. Instead, the global juggernaut decided to book the showdown for the Elimination Chamber Premium Live event. However, the possibility of the bitter rivals locking horns at Mania is not out of the question. Booking AJ Lee to dethrone Becky at the upcoming show would enable the creative team to book a full-fledged rivalry between Lee and Lynch, leading up to a rematch at WrestleMania 42. AJ Lee has been undefeated since she returned to WWE near the end of 2025. Last year, she made Becky Lynch tap out twice, once at WrestlePalooza in a mixed tag team match, and again in the Women's War Games match. Booking AJ to suffer a pinfall at Elimination Chamber could reduce the momentum she has built as a formidable competitor on the road to WrestleMania. The Chamber is not the right stage to book the first loss of her ongoing run. This is the most interesting point. Many believe that the women's IC title picture needs fresh talents. Fans seem to be tired of Becky Lynch's shenanigans on the Red Show. AJ Lee defeating Lynch to become the new Women's Intercontinental Champion could enable her to spark a fresh rivalry with a rising star, who could eventually dethrone her for the gold. Stephanie McMahon sends out a message to AJ Styles. The billion-dollar princess recently hosted AJ Styles on her What's Your Story podcast. It was the Phenomenal One's first interview since losing to Gunther in a career-threatening match at the Royal Rumble. Stephanie posted a picture with Styles and her co-host, Elise Dudzinski, on X and sent a message to the Phenomenal One on his retirement from in-ring competition. Thank you to the face that runs that place, the phenomenal AJ Styles. You will be missed. Enjoy your time with your family. You've earned it. See you down the road, she wrote. During AJ Styles' appearance on What's Your Story podcast, Stephanie McMahon played a video package in which several WWE talents paid tribute to the Phenomenal One after his retirement. Finn Balor was one of them, who teared up while talking about Styles. The Prince congratulated his WWE rival on a successful career and discussed the Phenomenal One's influence on his career. I feel so happy for him that he's able to retire with his health. And AJ, I just want to say congratulations on such an incredible career. From a personal standpoint, I want to say thank you because you've always been such a constant source of inspiration for me. I know we've had very similar career paths, but I hope you know that I've always looked up to you. For me, you're the benchmark for what it is to be a professional both inside and outside the ring. I'm very grateful that I got the opportunity to share the last 10 years with you here in this company. I want to say thank you for being AJ Styles, Baylor said. Why Joe Hendry refused to sign with WWE in 2016. Joe Hendry may be the new face of NXT as its reigning champion, but according to Hendry himself, the WWE door could have opened long before his 2025 signing if he had chosen to walk through it. In a new interview with Metro UK, the Scottish star revealed that WWE had been in the picture much earlier in his career, dating all the way back to 2014 when he appeared as an extra on an episode of Monday Night Raw as a lawyer for Rusev and Lana. But it wasn't the segment that changed his trajectory. It was a conversation backstage. That conversation with William Regal was probably one of the most important moments in my career. I've never spoken about that before, Hendry revealed, crediting the talk with Regal as a major turning point in how he approached the wrestling business. I can remember most of that conversation, and it's really guided a lot of my decisions in the professional wrestling business. Despite brushes with WWE over the years, including the 2016 United Kingdom Championship Tournament in Blackpool, Hendry chose not to pursue a contract at the time, and it wasn't because WWE wasn't interested. There are things we can talk about. Things we can't talk about, he said coyly, before addressing the 2016 opportunity more directly. I personally don't think I was ready to be in WWE at that point. I felt I needed to travel the world to get the skills required to perform in WWE at the highest level and discover who I was as a performer. Since officially joining WWE in November 2025 following his TNA departure, Hendry has become a fixture on NXT programming. And last week he captured the NXT Championship. But that climb, Hendry says, wouldn't have happened if he hadn't taken the long road. So it's clear that Hendry's rise feels all the more complete knowing it was on his terms, in his time. Why Royce Keys visited WWE headquarters after his Royal Rumble debut. According to Fightful Select, Royce Keys was recently at WWE headquarters filming an episode of What's Your Story alongside Stephanie McMahon. That detail helps clear up speculation about why the former AEW star was spotted at Stamford this week after he uploaded a photo from his visit to the WWE headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut on February 10th. WrestleVotes added fuel to the fire during a February 9th Q&A, saying Keys is expected to appear on this week's Friday Night SmackDown in Dallas. He wasn't listed on last week's SmackDown run sheet and was merely backstage for the February 2nd episode of Raw. But now things are heating up fast. I was surprised we didn't see him last Friday, WrestleVotes said. From what I saw, he was not on any of the sheets at all. He was not included there. We'll see him this Friday night from Dallas, Texas. Keys debuted as entry number 14 in the 2026 Royal Rumble, marking his first WWE appearance after rejecting a deal to stay with AEW. That dramatic rebrand under the name Royce Keys came after he personally reached out to Jim Ross before committing to WWE. Now WWE appears to be laying the groundwork for a serious push, complete with network-produced features and a prime SmackDown appearance. Royce Keys isn't just showing up. WWE is making sure you know his story before he even throws another punch. The Undertaker attacks the WWE. On the February 11th, 2026 episode of his 6 Feet Under podcast, the dead man got brutally honest about what modern pro wrestlers are missing compared to his generation. For him, it all comes down to one word: struggle. I think with Bill DeMott and Al Snow, that was how it was done for generations. Whether it was right or wrong, they were trying to weed out the weak. Because you can't come up here and be weak. The grind is too hard physically and mentally. That's where that came from. While he respects how far the system has evolved, especially with the rise of the WWE Performance Center and active athletic recruitment, he believes the current generation is missing the mental toughness born from real-life hardship. They need a little something that gives them an edge. That's the fine line. Does it need to be the extreme that I went through? No. But there is that sense of true struggle. The Undertaker reflected on his own battle to break into the business, reminding listeners that his journey didn't come with privilege or shortcuts. Once I decided I was leaving school to be a professional wrestler, everyone told me, "You're stupid. You're making a mistake." I refused any help. I had a huge chip on my shoulder. There were times I was sleeping in my car, bouncing through clubs just to scrape up enough money to go to wrestling school, going to shows where you lose money. He thinks those formative years shaped the aura he brought to WWE, and he questions how today's stars can develop the same grit without facing similar adversity. Obviously, we don't see that kind of struggle now. But there is something missing at times. The edge, the grit. I don't know how you create that, but a lot of times, you can see it in the product. The little bit of struggle you go through translates into what you do. This latest episode builds on his earlier comments from 2024, when he praised today's athleticism, but cautioned against relying too heavily on flashy moves over storytelling. Now, he's drawing a direct line between the lack of real-world struggle and what he sees in the ring every week. The Rock will never return. Speaking on Behind the Turnbuckle Studios' The Coach and Bro Show, Tommy Carlucci answered a fan question and explained why he thinks Johnson will never return to the ring for another match. Carlucci thinks the final boss will never have a match again, and he has grown out of competing in matches for the promotion. There's a lot of heat there, Coach. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't think we'll ever see The Rock in the ring again working. I don't think you'll ever see him. He's way beyond that. We saw him at the Golden Globes, Carlucci said. Roman Reigns is very unhappy with the WWE. Speaking on the same podcast, the former WWE employee said he thinks the original tribal chief might be upset with the company for real, as they haven't made a credible star in the past 2 years after the Bloodline saga ended. I think Roman Reigns speaks from the heart, and we've all seen it. How many big-time stars have they built in the past 2 years from the Cody Rhodes and Roman days of going at it? I mean, after Drew McIntyre, who have you built? Carlucci said.